So keep on going with your silly dream by Piter on AO3. This fic contains suicidal thoughts. That is your warning. Chapter 15. Pro hero kicked in the balls by local middle schooler. Izuku barely opened his eyes, bringing a hand up to wipe at his face, wincing as it pulled the rash on his shoulder. He'd been on his own for 2 months. 2 months of barely eating or drinking in order to better save the food and water he'd brought. 2 months of being tired, no matter how much he slept. 2 months of evading the police and few volunteers looking for him. 2 months of missing his mom and Kachan. He'd settled down in a run-down apartment complex, which his items being carefully crammed in some loose floorboards, after spraying copious amounts of bug spray, of course. Most useful thing he'd brought yet, to be honest. The gym nearby was a 10-minute walk. He was right across from a convenience store. He had access to a laundromat if he walked a street over, and to top it all off, his old school was 45 minutes away. It was perfect! And the best part? Izuku was getting stronger. He could feel it in his punches he threw, and how hard he swung the beat-up bat. He could see it in the calluses and the way he looked ever so slightly firmer, less like a gust of wind would blow him away. Now that he didn't have school to worry about, he'd begun to go for runs along Tokuba Beach whenever he woke up, which was sometimes closer to 3 p.m., so his sleep schedule was a little messed up. No biggie. He blinked drowsily, throwing on a pair of shorts and a white t-shirt that said pants. His mom had gotten it for him a few months back. Izuku blinked through tears, shoving on his socks and shoes. He missed his mom so much, hence the constant state of almost crying he'd found himself in. Last night was rough and didn't exactly help his case. Izuku had stumbled across a guy trying to break into a small store. It wasn't just one guy. While he was riddled with bruises and cuts now, it was a testament to how much Izuku had grown. He'd be dead if he tried to pull something like that off a couple months ago. But now, thanks to both his training and putting observations of past hero fights, he didn't almost get killed every night. It was great and terrible all at once. He tackled criminals easier than ever, but he was also becoming high profile. He was having to be stealthy. If he made one wrong move, he was sure the police would arrest him in 2 seconds flat. He took measured breaths as he ran along the shoreline. His hair wasn't long enough to style or get in his face, but it was at that awkward phase of growing out. Izuku didn't think he'd look stupider. He navigated around the many piles of trash, jumping, ducking, and weaving. It was better for his stance training, really, but he also wondered what the beach would look like as more than a dump, if everyone hadn't long since given up on it. It was something that would require more focus than simply running did. It kept his mind busy. It didn't let him wonder about Kachan or his mom or whether they were missing him as much as he was missing them. No matter how tired he was or how horrible he felt, Izuku couldn't go back. It was for the better. It was. Izuku sat on the edge of a roof, fully in gear. It was humid out. He had to refrain from wiping the sweat gathered at his brow. He really needed something other than a hoodie and cargo pants for nights like these. It was unwise to take a break when so many people probably needed him, and when he had so many different people out for his capture. But a nice old woman had given him a foot-long corn dog, refusing to let him go unpaid after he'd stopped a would-be burglar. He was exhausted, achy, bleeding, and he hadn't eaten anything other than chips and granola bars for 2 months. So Izuku decided that this woman's kindness wouldn't be for nothing. He was allowed a damn minute to eat a corn dog. He slips the delicacy under his bandana and takes a bite. Izuku chews, reveling in the warmth. A woman he'd never met gave him a free corn dog. That was all. Nothing more, nothing less. Izuku sobbed, chewing through his tears. He sniffed desperately, miserably. He missed his mom so much.
Yikes! Is the food that bad? Why are you still eating it? A booming voice suddenly asked, and it was only practice and the willpower that kept Izuku from screaming. He whipped around quickly, coming face to face with the voice hero present Mike. Izuku choked on his corn dog before jumping to his feet and... Wait, Yahoo! I'm not here to arrest you. I just want to meet the guy my bestie's been talking so much about. Mike called out, chasing Izuku. Could a guy not just enjoy his corn dog? I'll buy you another corn dog.
A hard bargain. Izuku paused, glancing back at the hero. So he wasn't here to catch Yahoo, but he was in full hero gear? Yeah, right. Izuku walked closer, causing the blonde man to grin. Izuku almost felt bad for what he was about to do. As soon as he was close enough, Izuku, the quirkless amateur vigilante, kicked pro hero present Mike straight in the balls. The man didn't make a sound. He simply dropped to his knees and pressed against the ground. Izuku sprinted away and finished his corn dog. That was chapter 15 of So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3.